Hi there folks, Jan here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is week 2 of the Christmas card fold challenge that I'm doing on my group alongside the Christmas card sketch challenge. So I'll start off by showing you what we're doing this week, and this is called a fourfold card, and as usual I'll show you a non-Christmassy version of it first to give you an idea, and then the one that we'll make together is the Christmas version. Okay, so this is the card. Let me just check that I'm in frame and you can see it. Yeah, it's very effective. It's extremely simple to make. It looks like that when it stands up, and this is a kind of masculine birthday card that I've made from the same pattern. Obviously you can change it to whatever you want it to be, but yeah, let's get started on the Christmas card version. So if I put this out of the way for the moment, sorry for any traffic noises. Right, okay, first thing you're going to need is 2 pieces of your background coloured card. I've used 300-gram white card just because I think it's good. It stands up really well, and it's the, oh no, it's not a shimmery one. Right, okay, so we need 2 pieces. The first piece you need is 8.5 inches, which is, I bet I haven't written it down, nope. Right, 8.5, and by the way, all of the measurements will be on the drop down box underneath so that you can get them. So 8.5 inches is 21.6 centimetres, and it's by 5 3/4, and that is 14.7 centimetres. So that's the first piece you need, and you're going to need to score that at 2 1/8, which is 5.3 centimetres. Sorry, I've got my little sheet here that reminds me. So you're going to score it at 2 1/8, which I'll write down there. You're going to score it then at 4 1/4, then at 6 3/8, and that gives you 4 panels which are each 2 1/8 width. So yeah, in centimetres that's 5.3, 10.8 and 16.3. okay, so that's the first thing you're going to need. The second thing you need is another piece of cardstock, which is measurements are 5 3/4 by 4 5/8. So 4 5/8, 5 3/4 is 14.6, and 4 5/8 is 11.8. Did I just say that was 20? What size did I say that was? Did I say it was 21 something? Let me have just a double check, because it should be, this big one should be 14.6 by 21.6. 21.6, yes, that's right, that's what I said. Right, okay, so then, as I say, we have this piece of card, which is 5 3/4 by 4 5/8, which is 14.6 by 11.8 centimetres. And if you put your short edge into your scoreboard and you score down here at 3/8 of an inch, and that is at 1 centimetre, I believe. Yeah, 1 centimetre. Okay, so that's the first pieces you're going to need. Put those aside. Then you're going to need a base coloured card, whatever colour you choose. I'm choosing lilac here, this one. I've prepped as much as I can before I do the video, so it doesn't take too long. And this you're going to need is 5 7/8 by 3 7/8, which is 5 7/8 by 3 7/8, No, it's sorry, it's 4 1/8 by 5 5/8. Let me just double check, because I've altered some of my sizes actually as I made the previous one. 3 7/8. Let me have a look. 3 7/8. Did I write this down? 3 7/8. Oh yes, I did. It is 4 1/8 by 5 5/8. This is the old size, and that is 10.5 by 14.7. You're going to need one piece of this, and as you can see, I've stamped a little design at the top and put a little sentiment at the bottom, both on the right hand side and as far over as you can sort of reasonably get them. But if you want to wait until we put the card together, you might decide that you want to do something else there. So for example, on this card here, I've put little cutouts there, and I've actually stamped my, or not stamped, I've put a cutout sentiment in the centre. So maybe don't put these pieces on first, just cut the piece of paper first. Okay, then you're going to need 2 more pieces of your main coloured paper, which are 2, ignore these, ignore this, this is for my old size. These pieces of coloured paper are going to be 2 by 5 5/8, and that is 5.1 by 14.7. So you need 2 of those. You're going to need 2 pieces of that same coloured card, like that, and they are 2 by 3 1/8, and that is a 5.1 by 7.9, and you need 2 pieces of that. And then lastly, you're going to need, no, not lastly, sorry, you're going to need 4 pieces, 4 very small pieces, which are 2 inches by 1 1/8 inches, and that is 5.1 by 2.9, and you're going to need 4 of those. Okay, so you need 1 of the big main ones, 2 of the long strips, 2 of the shorter strips, and 4 of these, all in your main coloured card. Right, now in terms of designer series paper, I've used these, and I've already attached mine to save a bit of time. So on your long pieces of card, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 1/2 by 1 7/8, which is 4.8 by 14 centimetres. And like I say, to save time, I've attached them already, and you can do as well. It's probably easier to do it like that. So you need 2 pieces of that go on your long cardstock. You need 2 pieces, and I've used a different one. I used a different one in this one as well, a toning colour, but you can use the same colour if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So I've used 2 pieces here, which are 3 by 1 7/8, and that is 14.8 by 7.6. And like I say, if you can't catch the you know what I'm saying at the moment, then it'll be in the drop down box underneath. And then for these pieces, you need 4 pieces that are 2 by 1 1/8, and that is 5.1 by 2, 1 7/8 by 1, which is 14.8 by 2.5. Let me just correct myself on this in case. This is 1 7/8 by 3, which is 14.8 by 7.6. Okay, I think I said that, but if I didn't. You're also going to need some sort of sentiment. Now on this one here, I put my sentiment on the inside, but on the one that I'm going to do at the moment, I'm going to put my sentiment on the outside. And you can cut this to any size you like, but the size that I've used for this one is 2 1/2 by 2, which is 6.4 by 5.1. and then I've cut a smaller piece which was 1 7/8 by 1 3/8, which is 4.8 by 3.5. But like I say, wait till you finish the card, because then you can add any size sentiment that you think fits on the card. Okay, all right, so let's get to making the card. It is the simplest card that you could possibly make. So I thought we'd start off these 2 weeks with something really, you know, something really easy just to get us going. So now then, having cut your pieces and scored them, let me just move these out of the way for the moment, and these two. Having cut your pieces and scored them, like I've said here, before we fold them up or anything, or before we fold them up, what we're going to do is measure in 1 1/4 inches on both sides. One 1/4 inches is 3.2 centimetres, by the way. So we're going to start at, so if you have a look at it like this, the piece that we're going to cut is between these lines, this outer line and this outer line. We're not going to cut this bit, okay? And we're going to do that on both sides. So we're going to measure in 1 1/4 inches here, and put a little mark, and 1 1/4 inches along this bottom piece here, and put a little mark. And then we're going to turn the entire thing round and do the same on the other side. So 1 1/4 inches here, and 1 1/4 inches here, like this. Then we're going to line up our ruler. You can do this on your cutter, on your paper trimmer if you want to. Just that for this, it's probably easier that I do it here, so as I can show you what I'm doing. Now I'm going to start at this cut here, and I'm going to cut. I start at this this score line here, and I'm going to cut all the way down to the last score line and stop there. Okay, so let's go a couple of times just to make sure I go through it. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it round and do the other side exactly the same. So I've already put my little marks, line up my ruler and cut from here carefully down to here. Down to there. Okay, let's hope that's cut in the middle. I think it has. Yeah. Yes, it has. Yeah, that's good. Right, now that's really all the work that we're going to do. The rest of it is just folding up. So let's move this out of the way. The first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to I'm going to erase my marks actually, because you'll probably see them. So the first thing we're going to do is fold the bottom piece up. Make sure that your sides are lined up, and use your bone folder to reinforce that crease. Okay. Right, now the second thing we're going to do then is we're going to fold this centre piece up, but try not to involve these pieces. These pieces you're actually going to push down. Okay, so it's going to look like that. So again, you're going to push the centre piece up. Sorry, push these two pieces here down. Sorry, you can hear my dog. It's because I've got a delivery man outside. There and there. And reinforce them with my bone folder. And you're going to push this piece, sorry, we'll keep it that way around. We're going to push this piece up. So that now looks like that. Okay? I'm going to reinforce that with the bone folder. And then we're going to push this last piece down so that you now have a piece that looks like this. Right, let me open it up again and show you. So this was the piece we had originally. We turned it around to where it should be, and we folded the first piece, we folded the first piece up like that. We folded the next piece down and the next piece down so that we have that. Okay, can you see that? That's how it's supposed to look. Once you fold this up, once you give these a little press, you'll find that actually they go down quite happily. It's not difficult to do that at all. So we're just going to do that, and then we tuck that last flap underneath and reinforce that with our bone folder. Okay, now for this piece here, we're just going to, where we did the score line, we're just going to fold that up like that, reinforce it with our bone folder, give it a really, really good score. That's the thing about using such thick cardstock, is everything has to be really well scored. It makes a nice sturdy card, but it does have to be, you know, really, really scored well. So we have this piece sticking up here like this now. On that bit that folds up, on the inside of that, we're going to apply some tape. And I'm going to use my 1/4 inch tape because I think this one is going to be too wide. Yes, it is. So I'm going to use my 1/4 inch tape for this. So you apply some tape all the way along from here, and I'll probably add a little bit of glue as well to this because this 1/4 inch tape is just not quite big enough. Okay, let's just get my little trusty acrylic block. There we go. And now what we need to do here is to remove this backing. There we go. And this is going to slide under here like this. If this was flat, which it should be, this is going to go on top of it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue to mine because, like I say, the tape doesn't completely fill the space. Also, it helps to give it a little bit of wiggle room. So there we go. And I'm just going to apply, if I can get that to go down flat, I'm just going to apply this right up to the fold, as close as I can get it, but not over the fold, as we've done before. Lots of things we've done before. Okay, like that. And then, let me just put the lid on my glue. Oops. And then we're just going to turn that over and reinforce it. So now I have this, like this, okay? And that's your kind of your 4-fold. Now that's all there is to it in terms of the folds and everything else. Let me just make sure these are really pressed down, otherwise it'll just keep popping open. That's those. That's these ones here. These ones in here. And these ones. Right, so there we go, it opens like this. Right, so now we just need to start sticking our panels on, and the first panel that I'm going to put on is my back panel, and that just centres up like that. I've already got tape on mine, so I'm just going to take the tape off. Now you can cut a smaller piece of white paper or cardstock. If you're using a dark coloured background or darkish coloured background, I can't show you because I'm not using a dark background on that one, but if you're using, say, a dark blue or something like that, and you want to, because this is where you write on it, so you might want to top this with a piece of white cardstock so that you can write your message on it. Alternatively, you can also, as on this one here, because it's a textured paper, I've decided that I'm going to write my message on the back, which is also quite acceptable. But this one here, I just think it's light enough to be able to see any message that I write on this. And the best thing when you come to write your message, if you are going to put it on this side, is to work out where the centre part is here and keep your message within this part here. Okay, so that's that piece stuck. Now I've also got a piece for the back of mine. You don't need to do this, it's just that mine, I ended up, after I'd cut it, I ended up making a mark on it. So I'm going to just attach a piece to the back like that, but you don't need to. I haven't included this piece in the cut list because it's just for my sake, although you may want to, if you like it, you may want to just decorate it that little bit more. So let me put this down. As I say, that's to cover this mark that I made accidentally on mine as I was putting it out. I stabbed my finger and managed to smear something on the back here. I also like to go over my edges on the wrong side, because when you cut it, you always get like a sort of a flaky edge there. So if you turn it over, you'll see that all of these edges are a bit sort of flaky, and I just gently go over them with a bone folder to flatten them out, because I just think otherwise it looks a little bit scruffy. And we don't want scruffy Christmas cards, do we? Right, okay. So turn that back. So now that's my back page, and I'm going to be able to write on there. So now it's just a case of putting everything else together. So we take our long panels here. Make sure that when you cut them, the directional pattern goes up and down. I already did one card before where I didn't kind of take note of that, and one went up and down and the other went sideways. So just make sure that you take note of the direction, which I'll mention as we're doing the card. So this is panel number 1. Fits on here, and centre it up. Panel number 2. I do hope that you're finding these useful. It's something a little bit different from just plain card sketches, although the card sketches are very useful as well. I think there's lots of people out there that show how to do stamped images and all sorts of things like that, so I just think I'd do something slightly different to everybody else by showing you how to arrange basically pieces of paper on your card base to get the best out of them, something a bit different. Right, now we'll stick these two down. And like I say, this is the simplest of cards, but it is very effective. It looks very nice and is very versatile. It can be used for anything really. Make a very nice pop-up birthday card for somebody. Let's line that up, try and get it as straight as I can. And this one here. Now also, whichever paper you use, these need to go with the pattern vertically as well, like this, as do these. And this is where I also fell down a bit. I had them going that way, but actually the pattern needs to go, if you have a directional pattern, it needs to go vertically, not horizontally. So just be aware of that when you're cutting them out. So I do hope that you have joined my Facebook group, where we have lots of card sketch challenges and all sorts of things. There's an amazing bunch of fellow crafters over there who are happy to share their take on the card sketches and everything else. And if you're looking for it, it is Jan S Cards and Creations, and that is spelt capital J. I'll write it down in a moment for you, or actually I'll include it at the bottom of this. So it's capital J A N capital S, Jan S, all one word, and then Cards and Creations. The and bit is an ampersand, and that's, so it's all joined together. The whole thing is joined together, and I'll put the link underneath this video for you. It'll be great to see you over there. Come and join in the fun, and let's see what we can make together. We do lots of challenges over there. Make sure that's straight as well, as straight as I can get it at this angle anyway. Right, there we go. So that basically, folks, is it. And then as you fold it up, your card looks like this. I'm going to put my little greeting on here, sort of across the middle like that. And then it's up to you to decorate it however you would like. So I'm trying to use some sort of non-traditional colours at the moment. I'm using, I'm trying to use colour palettes, and see how I get on with that. And I might put that out as a challenge as well. And that's basically, if you look on Pinterest, there are lots and lots of colour palettes. Just put colour palettes in and it comes up. And they show you exactly what colours and what tones of what colours go together. And sometimes they're things that you would never ever imagine that would go together. But they do, somehow they do. And when they come together, they make absolutely beautiful colour arrangements. So for anybody who kind of struggles a little bit with colour arranging, I would really suggest that you go over there. I don't know if you can get access to my board. I don't know that much about Pinterest actually, but if you can, then please do feel free to go onto my board and have a look at the ones that I've saved, because they're all very, you know, they're sort of out of the ordinary. They're not the usual, you know, sort of pinks and things. There are a lot of pinks and stuff, but there are a lot of other ones. And what I'm trying to do is go through my stash whenever I get time, and to collect together small scraps of certain colours, you know, that match. Say I'll choose a colour board, and I'll try and put different scraps together. They don't need to be plain cardstock. They'll be patterned. They'll be anything. And I'm trying to put them together, and then challenge myself to make a card or something using that pack of scraps, those colours. And sometimes it turns out absolutely beautifully. You know, especially if you're stuck for ideas or something, or if you feel that you're not very good at putting certain colours together, it's brilliant, it's wonderful. So at the moment I'm just jazzing this up a bit. I virtually never make a card that doesn't have some sort of bling on it. Yeah, I don't know if that's enough bling. What do you think? Or do you think it needs some over here as well? Yeah, I'll put some matching on there as well. I don't think I ever make a card that hasn't got some sort of bling or attachment to it, you know. Just like a little bit of fancy bows and bits and pieces on it. I think it's what, for me, it's what makes the card. I do like the simple straight lines, I really do. So I like the clean and simple cards in that way, but I also like to then decorate them up. So there we go. This is today's Christmas card. It's a 4-fold card. You can decorate yours as, you know, sort of as you want to. And I'm going to do my writing in here probably. And I may stamp another image or put something else on the back just to hide that bit, which I wouldn't have done if I hadn't marked it. Anyway, I hope you like this card. Just a reminder, here's the other one, the birthday version, or best wishes version. And yeah, I hope you enjoy making them. So if you do, please do share. Take care, and I'll see you again next week. Bye now.